Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Sunday, the 2nd of June 2024, the year of 1,000,000 transactions per second or more. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best online casino on sports betting on chain. Have a flutter in private using blockchain technology. Right, let's get into it. So I'm feeling a little bit rusty because I haven't put a show out for a couple of weeks. But that's because I've just been taking a break. Now we are back on it and in it. So let's do it. So first article. This is by the BSV Association. So it says BSV Association launches new report on the role of blockchain in safeguarding data and streamlining transactions. The BSV Association is pleased to launch a new report focusing on the role of blockchain in safeguarding data and streamlining transactions. Report and navigating digital transformation, building trust in an automated world, and the role of blockchain in safeguarding data and streamlining transactions. By 2030, it is expected that some 125 billion digital devices will be connected around the world, sending and receiving data via the internet and other wireless routes. Data trust has always mattered, but never more so than in the new digital age, as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and other emerging technologies make decisions autonomously, decisions that can help an enterprise thrive or threaten its operation, revenue, and reputation. Blockchain technology opens up a window on trust. Using it, enterprises can see clearly where data originates, where it has travelled, and how it has changed along the way. Blockchain's transparent, secure, and immutable digital data or digital ledger establishes reliability and confidence that a business's devices and data are working as they should. This trust is essential for making the bold moves needed to stay ahead of the competition amid constant, increasingly rapid digital transformation. Not all blockchains are created equal. You say that again, that's an understatement. However, more than 500 blockchains have tried to establish trust or digital trust since 2008. BSV is the first to scale trust reliably. The BSV blockchain design, which uses large blocks comparable to pages in a record book, gives it the power to handle transactions in extraordinarily high volumes for much less cost than other blockchains. The BSV blockchain's innovative features give it the ability to support at least 1 million transactions per second, more than any other financial network. And as the number of transactions rises, the cost per transaction goes down, a feature unique to BSV. BSV blockchain gives your enterprise a leg up over competitors. Using it, your enterprise can more readily profit from new sources of revenue, reduce operating costs, and more swiftly incorporate new technologies, with complete confidence in your operations and transactions while facilitating regulatory compliance. You'll rest assured knowing that your company can use and share its data as well as that of your business partners and customers with complete and utter trust. Oh, read the full report. Oh, wow. Check it out. Check it out. Well, we're obviously not going to read all of that because that's a little bit too long. But loving that. Right, let's get on to this. This looks absolutely fantastic. So this was actually reported on the 31st of May. In updates on Teranode, and it says a milestone 6 nodes, 1 million transactions per second for 2 weeks. And then it said the Teranode benchmark sets the stage for blockchain next evolution, achieving over 1 million transactions per second with 6 globally distributed nodes. Come on, loving this. So it starts here. What just happened? We're thrilled to announce the successful run of Teranode in a private network environment on Amazon Web Services. Over the past 2 weeks, we ran a collection of 6 Teranode nodes, each composed of microservices orchestrated by Kubernetes, maybe, across globally distributed regions, including Ireland, Central Canada, Seoul, North Virginia, Oregon, and Mumbai. This extensive setup sustains an impressive average throughput exceeding 1 million transactions per second throughout the testing period. The scale of this operation, utilizing over 500 machines of various instance types, demonstrates our commitment to pushing the boundaries of blockchain technology. Next step, our focus shifts to getting our minimum viable product MVP, product ready and capable for full operating on the mainnet. Oh, come on. Significant progress has been made, and our current efforts are dedicated towards adapting Teranode and SV Node to work seamlessly together. We are hardening the system to ensure a smooth and secure transition from the lab to the live environment. You beauty. This involves extensive code cleanups, security enhancements, DevOps improvements, and comprehensive documentation. We're working towards feature completeness to match current mining software standards. While we strive to maintain backward compatibility, it is essential to recognize this as the next evolution of our blockchain journey, with certain concepts like the mempool and others being phased out. We will be providing detailed guidance and documentation to back the community in understanding all of the changes and support in the transition over the next 2 years. You can find our long-term roadmap here. Oh, come on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Loving this. Timeline 2024. Teranode, the proof of concept scalability test. So we've got SV Node, release core 1, release core 3, release core 4. Oh, I'm looking forward to when it goes on the mainnet. Literally cannot wait. Cannot wait. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's great. Additionally, we will now focus on getting a test network up and running. Once the test network is stable internally, we will open it for beta testers who have signed up with us. In this environment, we'll be running the miners in debug mode with all tracing enabled and the sampling rate set to 1. We want to capture and understand all the internals of the system and solidify a robust test suite. Geeky extra details, we'll have a read of that. In the spirit of transparency, we would like to share some of the challenges we faced during our test run. Initially, we observed a higher rate of forking than anticipated. This was traced back to our subtree validation services, which struggled to keep up when multiple nodes forked simultaneously, necessitating rapid validation. Fortunately, our design allowed for horizontal scaling of these stateless services, effectively addressing the issue. Additionally, we had to increase the capacity of our distributed storage solution, which supports the sharing of large data blobs between services. Our proactive alert system, set to trigger a 50% threshold, provided ample time to adjust without causing disruptions, especially as we scaled the test from 3 to 6 nodes. We're excited about the progress we've made and look forward to the continued development and enhancement of BSV blockchain technology. Stay tuned for more updates, and as we advance towards a new era of scalable and efficient blockchain solutions, the future is now. Beautiful, beautiful is all I can say on that one. So with that, let's just have a quick look at what's going on in the Twitter sphere, knowing that Teranode is coming out. Would you believe it? So Alex Flavela's posted here, Teranode has them concerned. They're backpedaling all the lies and twisting the narrative to accept some concentration for bigger blocks. That was Vitalik Buterin saying, some reflections on the Bitcoin block size war. Oh, look at that. So it looks like he's being a bit of a turncoat, does Vitalik. What was that, Vitalik, you said? BSV doesn't scale? You might have to eat your words, sunshine. And what's this? Sal Algris. So he says here, Andreas Antonopoulos now says we can safely increase the block size after blocking me and many others for saying the same thing years ago. Oh dear, oh dear, dear, oh dear. Let's have a listen.
In fact, in that I'm a bit of a contrarian, because I would say in 2017, we had a partial agreement to scaling with SegWit, which also in practice increased the block size to 4 megabytes. It's now been 7 years. Could we afford, from a bandwidth and storage perspective, another increase in the block size? Now, that's heresy to say in some circles. And for me, it's simply a pragmatic question. Have computers and bandwidth increase to a point where we could increase the block size without damaging decentralization? I think the answer to that is yes. And so, in fact...
without damaging decentralization. He's making decentralization sound like it's a machine or something. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I had to laugh at that one. Truth Machine has also pointed this out. He said, these clowns know BTC is broken, but they lie to you. Andreas also wants to change the proof of work algo to proof of stake. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Proof of stake makes it a security to avoid inflation of the 21 million cap, which is needed for small blocks. And it looks like he's got a screen frame here on YouTube where it is said, is there any truth to the argument that Bitcoin will have more than 21 million coins? The claim is the security model breaks when there are only transaction fees. What are your thoughts on this? Oh dear, honestly. So now they are increasing the block size, which is heresy in BTC, and it looks like they're talking about inflating it, which we know they've been banging on about for ages. But will the shitcoiners swallow this one? I think they probably will, because shitcoiners literally don't care. They're just like, oh whatever, number go up. That's literally all shocking. But we here in the genuine Bitcoin know the truth. Good grief, it is going to hit them hard across the face like a wet fish. Whew. Right, so let's get on to the big stuff. Because, would you believe it, this was released on the 20th of May 2024. And this was Judge Meller's report that we thought almost got lost, thinking that it wasn't ever going to come out. And would you believe it, it came out the day before the London Blockchain Conference. Whoa. What a coincidence. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, just reading through, it's just absolute waffle. All of it, absolute waffle. Really unprofessionally written as well. Check this out. So, summary. Point 3. Many of Dr. Wright's lies. Seriously, how old are we here? Oh, you're a liar. Yeah, you're a liar. This is like being in the school playground. It's outrageous. Many of Dr. Wright's lies contained a grain of truth, which is sometimes said to be the mark of an accomplished liar. Oh yeah, and we heard all about his whopping lies in court. Literally, this is like school playground stuff. This is just unbelievable. But there were many which did not and were outright lies. As soon as one lie was exposed, Dr. Wright resorted to further lies and evasions. The final destination frequently turned out to be either Dr. Wright blaming some other, often unidentified person for his predicament, or what can only be described as technobabble delivered by him in the witness box. Although, as a person with experience in IT security, Dr. Wright must have thought his forgeries, and again, we heard there are no allegations of fraud or forgery. So what's he saying, forgeries? There are no allegations. There were only questions put to him. You forged this, didn't you? No. You forged that, didn't you? No. Oh, all right then. And the judge is saying that there are forgeries. There is no evidence and no allegations of forgery or fraud. Absolutely outrageous. So Dr. Wright must have thought his forgeries would provide convincing evidence to support his claim to be Satoshi or some other point of detail and would go undetected. The evidence shows, as I explained below in the appendix, that most of his forgeries turned out to be clumsy. Literally, Craig even said, look, if I was going to forge something, this is how I do it, so you couldn't tell. Literally, we are talking about one of the world's best cybersecurity experts, and the judge is calling his forgeries clumsy. Facepalm. Good grief. Indeed, certain of Dr. Wright's responses in cross-examination effectively acknowledged that point. From my recollection, at least twice he indicated if he had wanted to forge a document, he would have done a much better job. Well, that's just it. Honestly, the whole thing is just an absolute joke. There is no way that the judge was going to say that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, and Craig wasn't going to show indisputable proof either, because you're talking about exposing a $2.5 trillion fraud. Is what you're talking about. The entire crypto market is based on the premise that Bitcoin can't scale and can't do anything, but it can do absolutely everything. And if the judge was to say, oh yes, by the way, you are Satoshi Nakamoto, or Craig was to show indisputable proof, jeepers, there are going to be a lot of people really upset, because these scumbags have allowed people to put their 401ks and their pensions in it. You know, I mean, it's outrageous what they've done. The fraud is just literally on another level. Like we said, it dwarfs the tulip bubble, it dwarfs the South Sea Company bubble, and it dwarfs the .com bubble. I mean, it's just absolutely huge. That's why they've done it. That's why nobody wants to be responsible for popping it. But utility is going to win out at the end of the day. So that there was his report. But check this out. So this was Judge Mellor here. Look, the Honourable, I should say Dishonourable, Mr. and again, mere maritime, Justice Mellor, blah, 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 blah. So this was his report on the case between Craig Stephen Wright and BTC Core claimants, High Court, Chancery Division, England and Wales, on the 7th of February 2023. So let's look at the first point. We'll go down to first point number 29, just down here. Look at this. This is Judge Mellor's own words. In line with the indication above, for the purposes of this application, I assume that Dr. Wright created the Bitcoin file format and it was the product of his own intellectual creation. As already stated, there is no doubt about the structure of the Bitcoin block. And then we'll go down to point 50 down here. Look at this. Look at this. Point 50. There were a number of points made in Council's submission which I have no difficulty whatsoever, with which I have no difficulty whatsoever. Indeed, each of the following points I have already assumed in Dr. Wright's favour, either explicitly or implicitly. 50.1 that Dr. Wright expended substantial skill and judgment in creating the Bitcoin file format such that the originality / intellectual creativity required is met. In other words, I've ignored any potential issues as mentioned by Arnold J. in SAS number 3. 50.2 that Dr. Wright devised and created the Bitcoin file format in the course of writing the code for the Bitcoin system. And 50.3 there is no reason why two works cannot be created in parallel with one another and in the course of the same creative process. And we already know that Craig won the Ira Kleiman case, where a trial by jury found, and again this is a trial by jury, this is like literally the highest judgment anybody can make because it's a trial by jury, where the jury found that Craig was the sole and rightful owner of the Satoshi coins. So, who's the sole and rightful owner of the Satoshi coins other than Satoshi? Oh, it looks like Craig Wright is. Oh, well, therefore it kind of makes sense that Craig is Satoshi Nakamoto. Yes, indeed. And check this out. I mean, obviously, there's so much evidence. It's crazy. Look at this. Is Craig Wright Satoshi Nakamoto? Well, on the 15th of September 2017, prior to the Bitcoin white paper release on October 31st, 2008, Craig Wright published a white paper under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto titled An In-Depth Analysis of Proof-of-Work Calculations in the Hashcoin white paper, exploring alternative strategies. Within the paper, technology now called blockchain is first described as time chain. And this is it. That was a picture that Craig published in before the release of the white paper, 15th September 2007. Crazy. And also, on the 30th of October 2007, prior to the Bitcoin white paper release on 31st of October 2008, Craig Wright published a paper from Northumbria University titled Payment Providers and Intermediaries as Defined in the Law of the Internet. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what that was to do with. So we're to do with laws of the this is payment providers and intermediaries as defined in the law of the internet. So he knows about payment providers and intermediaries, money service businesses and all that. He's published a paper on it, so that gives him even more credibility. And then also on the 14th of January 2008, prior to the release of the Bitcoin white paper, Craig publishes a paper to the Sands Institute for GIAC certification titled Electronic Contracting in an Insecure World. The paper contains information on what is now known in relation to blockchain technology as smart contracts. Oh my goodness me. And check this out. So this was actually 31st of October 2008. This is a web archive. So this is actually the day of the release of the Bitcoin white paper. Craig described the GIAC security expert malware as one of the hardest certifications ever devised. Now let's have a look at this. Hopefully this will come up. And check this out. Look, there are only 4 people in the world listed. 4 people in the world with this qualification. Literally, look, 4 people in the entire world. And guess who's there? Craig Wright. One of these 4 people in the world that literally has one of the hardest qualifications ever. I mean, that must be effing difficult when you've literally only got 4 people in the world that have got it. And he's one of them. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. Oh my goodness me. And again, so 31st of October, Bitcoin white paper was released. Yeah, you know. And then it goes on. Look, on the 7th of April 2010, Gavin Andresen meets Craig Wright in London for a proof session. Craig Wright proved he has possession of the private keys to Bitcoin's block number 1 by signing a message using the private keys. The message wrote was, Gavin's favourite number is 11 CSW. You know, and then obviously we've got Wired and Gizmodo magazine pointing their fingers at him in December 2015. There we go, 8th of December 2015. Wired magazine publishes an article titled "Bitcoin is Bitcoin's creator, this unknown Australian genius." Points finger at Craig Wright. And then the next day, on the 9th of December, Gizmodo publishes an article that evidences Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin, titled "Here's all the evidence that Craig Wright invented Bitcoin." And this wasn't Craig. This is Wired magazine, then Gizmodo magazine simultaneously. Then on the 9th of December, the Australian police raid the home of Craig Wright in relation to being the man behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator and inventor of Bitcoin. I mean, yeah. And look at this. You know, 2nd of December 2016, Gavin Andresen, creator of the Bitcoin Foundation and the individual known to have inherited the role of lead developer of Bitcoin off of Satoshi Nakamoto, publishes a blog post titled, "I believe Craig Stephen Wright is the person who invented Bitcoin." John Batonis does the same thing, monetary economist, co-founder of the Bitcoin Foundation and chief economist at Cypherpunk Holdings, published an article saying how I met Satoshi. You know, I mean, it just goes on. And then the 2nd of May 2016, Wired magazine publishes an article naming Craig Wright as the inventor of Bitcoin, titled "How Craig Privately Approved He Created Bitcoin." You know, I mean, it just literally... it just goes on and on and on, you know. And again, you know, anybody who knows about the fundamentals of Bitcoin will know that BSV is the only way that you can commoditize data. So all these other parties that were accusing him of not being Satoshi Nakamoto are actually fully supporting securities fraud. Yeah, it's outrageous. So let's have a look at this. Yeah. 6th of December 2021, a Florida jury found that Craig Wright did not owe half of 1.1 million bitcoins to the family of David Kleiman. In a court case that saw Ira Kleiman as the personal representative for the estate of Dave Kleiman, the plaintiff versus Craig Wright, the defendant. And check this out. What was the result? Oh, look at that. The Times newspaper. Bitcoin founder Craig Wright. Oh, there we go. Reject all. Bitcoin founder Craig Wright wins battle to keep his crypto billions, the 1.1 million bitcoins. So look, Craig Wright, the man claiming to be the inventor of Bitcoin, mined 1.1 million bitcoins under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. The Times. We've got Guardian as well who reported on it. Australian man Craig Wright wins US court battle for Bitcoin fortune worth billions. Daily Mail as well. Living quietly in a Surrey village. Is this really the man who invented Bitcoin? US court rules autistic Aussie tech genius Craig Wright created the cryptocurrency and it could be worth a staggering £36 billion. I mean, That's not even all that. It's not a lot really compared to what Craig is actually worth. But you get what I'm saying. On the 1st of August 2022, UK High Court Judge Martin Chamberlain ruled that comments made by podcaster Peter McCormack calling Dr. Craig Wright a liar and a fraud in 2019 caused serious harm to Wright's reputation. Jeepers. And then there's all the kerfuffle with the Australian Tax Office, where Craig admitted mining Bitcoin since 2009. There was just so much evidence. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, don't want to go. I'm going 25 minutes, getting back into the swing of things. That's what we like. So I missed a few days here. While we're at the conference, so went over. The New York agreement was May 20th to 21st. 22nd of May was Bitcoin Pizza Day. I actually forgot to have a pizza on Bitcoin Pizza Day. But anyway, there we go. That was Laszlo Hanyek reporting that he'd successfully bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin. And check this out. So May 22nd, 2024, Stephen Bartlett at Dragon's Den was a guest speaker at the London Blockchain Conference. And I was there. I saw him. I took that picture. Love it. Ruth Eastman was also there, author of her book, The Bitcoin Singularity. Absolutely fantastic. We've got more emails from Marty Maui to CSW. Yeah, we got 25th of May. Should be known as Craig Wright as a fraud day by Peter McCormack. Oh dear, oh dear. We got some more points here. Anything significant? 1st of July. So this was yesterday. So this is actually to do with Bitcoin. We can save and publish that. There we go. Bring that up in just a second. Here we go. So 1st of June, that was yesterday. I think that's pronounced Barakai. Barakai Levy wrote a letter to Karl Marx, and this is why Bitcoin is actually important. So the letter, Barakai Levy letter to Karl Marx, La Revue de Paris said, "The Jewish people as a whole will be its own messiah. It will attain world dominion by the dissolution of other races, by the abolition of frontiers, the annihilation of monarchy, and by the establishment of a world republic in which the Jews will everywhere exercise the privilege of citizenship. In this new world order, the children of Israel will furnish all the leaders without encouraging opposition. The governments of the different peoples forming the world republic will fall out will fall without difficulty into the hands of the Jews. It will then be possible for the Jewish rulers to abolish private property and everywhere to make use of resources of that state. Thus will the promise of the Talmud be fulfilled, in which is said that when the Messiah's time is come, the Jews will have all the property of the whole world in their hands." So that's kind of like the one world government conspiracy. So look, that's what they're saying. They're going to exercise privilege of citizenship, take over all the world resources. You'll own nothing and be happy and all that. Fulfilling the promise of the Talmud, where the Jews will have all the property of the whole world in their hands to themselves. No consideration for anyone else. Oh dear. And this is why Bitcoin is important, because we either have a totalitarian, a one world government, or we have a one world money used by the people to then create government that works for the people. Or government will create currency to control the people, and that's what this lot are doing. So if you like your freedom, you better get on board with Bitcoin, because that's what's needed. 2nd of June 2010, we've got more posts here from Satoshi Nakamoto. There's quite a few here. We'll just go back actually. View in the thread. So that was from Satoshi Nakamoto. Re-host names instead of IP addresses. Thymos replied to that. Gavin O'Drayson jumped on board as well. Laszlo was in there. Was in there 3rd of June. Awesome. Awesome. There was quite a few here. So second, 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look at this. Proof of work. Difficulty increasing. Website translations. I uploaded 93% complete Dutch translation to SVN. Thanks. View original post. Yeah, that was from Satoshi himself. Loving that. Loving that. All right, don't want to go on too long. Let's have a quick look at the figures then. So top left of the screen says $60.37, and that's what we've got on CoinDance here. Oh, let's have a look at the block sizes just quickly. Yeah, looking good. Currently 231,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than core coin. 22.9% more profitable to own core coin than Bitcoin. Just shows you the competition there. Yada, yada, yada. Look at that B crash. Let's enlarge this bit. Other miners with 65.9% of the hash rate on there. 27.7% on of Fisher Price Cash. Let's just have a quick look at the mining on Gorilla Pool. Where are we now? Miners. 24 hours. What does it look like? Oh, it looks pretty good. Gorilla Pool 6.15%. Loving that. And there we go. We will finish here on a little bit. So just betBitcoinSV.com will take you to this, and then we can go to sports to see what's going on. A leaderboard. Oh, hidden the names up there. Look at that. Recently had an ROI of 155%. Best bet $151. 1-2. Loving that. That's in the current week. Great stuff. Right, there we go. We will leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.